So you want to generate your first or maybe even an extra $100,000. But before we go into any of the practical things of what you should do, what you should avoid, what sort of things you should focus on in this, let's say, next year, or this roadmap in this next year, what should you do? Before we go into any of that practical stuff, right, I want to ask you a real question. Because on this video, I could come on here, BS you, say, all you need to do is this, all you need to do is this, all you need to do is this. But a matter of fact, the biggest problem that I see with people, whether it's setting a goal and achieving it, or whether it's setting a financial goal and achieving it, whatever it is, setting something and achieving it, the biggest problem that I see, in all honesty, is the thing that goes on in here. The thing that goes on up here. And what do I mean by this? And you've seen it throughout your life. Maybe you've set a goal, right? Have you had an experience like this where you've set a goal, you've wanted to do something, whether it's, I don't know, lose some weight or tone up, right? Whether it's, I don't know, go for a certain amount of job interviews, whether it's perform in a certain way. But then when you set that goal, it's all hunky-dory, it's all amazing, you're doing. Then what happens? A few days later, a few weeks later, maybe even a few months later, something comes up which hinders you, which opposes what you've been doing, right? Maybe it's, I don't know, you've set yourself that diet and then now 1 week into it, you see that cake that you shouldn't eat, but you want to eat, you're craving it. Maybe it's a month later, you haven't eaten that cake still, but then something that you shouldn't be eating, you're like, you know what, let me just try it. Or maybe you come home from work late and you know that you should be putting in some extra hours for maybe it's a side hustle or a side business that you're doing, but you're feeling a bit tired and you're like, you know what, I've had a long day at work, I deserve to put on Netflix and just chill. Not like that, but Netflix and chill, or do whatever you want, right? When these moments, because this is life, when these moments, these people, these situations, these circumstances come in, the biggest thing that stops people from achieving their goal is not connecting to why they truly want it. And if we just take, let's say, this $100,000 that we're talking about now, whether it's your first $100,000, whether it's an extra $100,000, whatever it is, right? And this could be $1 million. If we just take this particular goal that you have right now, on the surface, if we look at what it is, it's just a bunch of numbers. It's 100, 000. But my guess is that you don't want just the numbers, right? You don't want just $100,000 to look at your bank account and say, oh my gosh, I've got $100,000. Thank you. Then go starving on the street, not having a house, not having anything, not paying your bills, right? You need that $100,000. You want that $100,000 for something, whether it's a new quality of life, whether it's a certain feeling that it gives you, whether it's to have something to generate your next 100,000 or your next million or your next 10 million. So what I want you to do before we even go into any of the strategies, I want you to just be real with yourself and ask yourself, what is that reason that you want the $100,000? What is the reason that you want to generate that extra bit of money? Is it for a better quality of life? Is it to maybe treat your loved ones, right? And obviously money can't buy love or anything like that, but it can sure well give you different experiences with your loved ones. Is it for the case that if you've got children maybe and they're asking you, mommy, daddy, can we go to Disneyland? Instead of you thinking, can I afford that right now? Instead of you thinking, will my boss let me take time off? Instead of you thinking any of these things, what about if you had that sovereignty, that freedom to be able to be like, you know what, my child's asking me, do you want to go to Disney? Can we go to Disneyland? I'm going to be like, you know what, let's go. Let's not even just wait till next month. Let's go next week or let's go tomorrow. So think about it for you. What is that thing that you know that this extra bit of money will help you with? It could even be for some of you, I don't know, something like you see the $100,000 and by having that extra bit of money in your account, you feel secure, you feel stable. Maybe because when you was younger, parents didn't have a lot of money and there was that feeling of instability, insecurity, not knowing where the next paycheck was coming in. And as kids, you know, we sometimes look at children and think they don't understand. But when we were children, we understood, right? When parents are going through stuff, when parents are going through things that they think you don't understand, but really you understand, this impacts us on a conscious level, on a subconscious level. Maybe for some of you, it's that your parents didn't get to spend enough time with you and you don't want to do that for your children, or you don't want to do that and miss out on opportunities and experiences with friends or whatever. What is the reason for you? Because on those days when you don't have the motivation to keep going, like today, you've got the motivation. You've clicked on this video. You're going to watch the full amount of this video to get the most of it. You've got the motivation. You've got the hype. But in a week's time, when you're feeling tired, when you're feeling lethargic, when you're not sure what to do next, right? When that happens, you're like, I'm doing this. Is this the right thing? Should I be doing this? And don't worry, I'm going to give you 3 things at the end of this video to make sure that if any of these situations come up, right? What should I do next? Is this right for me? Will this work? I'm going to give you some examples of what you can potentially do to generate your first $100,000. And I'm also going to give you 3 things you can take away from this video to start literally today, so that you won't have to worry about these things popping up in your mind and not knowing where to go. But first of all is getting clear on why do you want this? Because on those days when you're lacking motivation, when you're not sure if this is the right thing for you, when you're not sure if you can keep going, which happens because we're humans, things happen in life, right? Right, I'm not here to sugarcoat life because we know what life is. But if we can prepare for life, then when those situations pop up, instead of us going forward and getting swept off our feet, now is the case we're going forward, we've prepared for this moment. It tries to move us off our center, but no, we keep on going, we're aligned, we're focused, and we get that goal. So just take a moment, whether you want to pause this video, whether you want to write it in the comments just to anchor it in and let other people see your determination, and let other people see what you're committing to, your bigger purpose, right? To anchor it in for yourself or maybe for others. Or if you want to write it on a piece of paper right now, why is the reason that you want this first $100,000? Connect with that, not just the numbers, not just because it looks good on the bank account. What is that deeper reason? And sometimes to get to that deeper reason, you just got to ask yourself why 3 to 5 times. Why do I want $100,000? Because I want more money. Why do you want more money? Because I want to have a bit more freedom to do what I want. Why do you want to have the freedom? Because I want to actually have more time to focus on my side hustle and to make that something, because I know that I can make a lot more money, a lot more impact from this. Why do you want to make more money and more impact? Because I really want to, first of all, I want to help other people feel amazing, help other people in their lives. And also for me, I just want to feel secure, to know that I never have to worry about money again, to know that my family never has to worry about money again. Do you see how there, by just asking yourself why, you can start to go deeper and deeper and deeper. And that last thing of feeling secure, of wanting to help people, is the real reason, not just the numbers. So that's the first thing that we're going to do. Now to jump into, once you've done that, whether you pause the video, write in the comments or write it down, and really do this. Because sometimes we want to watch the full video, we want to skip to the end, but then we get to the end, what happens? Next video. Now there's nothing wrong with watching another one of my videos or something else, but the problem occurs when you start to binge watch and not take action. They say knowledge is power, but knowledge is not power. That is the biggest lie they ever made, right? What is power? Implemented knowledge is power. Implemented knowledge is power. Because if you've just got knowledge up here, you've heard some stuff, but you don't implement it, then it's just up here. You're living the same life, the same things, the same amount of incomes coming in, the same amount of life experiences are happening. Nothing changes if nothing changes. So really do this thing now. Write down in the comments or write down, why do you want this? Now, once you've done that, let's get into some practical things. What are some of the practical things that we can open our minds to understand how we can achieve this, right? Because the biggest problem that I see is that most people, they set a goal, whether it's, let's just take a financial goal in this perspective, in this case now, you've set your financial goal. Most people, the biggest problem I see is they're going into that goal blind. What do I mean by going into that goal blind? I mean, you've got $100,000, but right now $100,000 might seem distant or it might seem slightly unachievable. I want to ask you the question. Is there somebody out there right now who has maybe started with less money than you and made $100,000 or more? Yes or no? Has someone out there right now in the past started with less money than you but still made $100,000 or more? The answer to that is yes. Why? You can look online and you can see so many case studies, so many success stories of homeless people starting from zero. No money, no internet, no phone, no connections, and still making over $100,000, even millions. And then in a few months' time, they went from homeless to sleeping in a mansion, right? So if they can do it, can you do it? Of course. Is there someone out there right now who's maybe younger than you, right? Much younger than you, maybe much more inexperienced than you, maybe less intelligent than you, maybe less qualified than you, who has made over $100,000? Yes or no? Of course. And if they can do it, why can't you? So a lot of the times our mind will start to try and kick in and say, oh, I can't do it because of this, or I don't know this, or how is this going to work? But as soon as we realize that this is our mind trying to take us out of the game. Why? Because it's programmed for survival. Our minds, over thousands, tens of thousands, millions of years, have been programmed through evolution, right? And I'm not going to go into different theories of evolution, but right now has been programmed for survival, for safety, for security. So your mind will always try and keep you safe by not taking risks. But the people who don't take risks don't get the rewards. So you got to take some risks and understand that if they can do it, then I can do it. So now if we go into this first practical thing that I wanted to mention in this video is understanding that if you break down any form of making $100,000, you can look at it as making $100,000 could be one sale at $100,000, could be two sales at $50,000, could be four sales at $25,000. And as I'm saying this, notice your mind, because I know that I'm saying this, and some of you who are watching this are thinking right now, $100,000? I can't sell something for 100. I don't have anything to sell for $100,000. $25,000? What am I going to sell for that? I don't have anything that's worth 20. No, who's going to buy something for $25,000 from me? I haven't even got into the explanation and different ideas yet. But for now, notice this. This is not a bad thing or good thing. Just notice the crap that sometimes goes on in our minds. Because when we notice it, that's when we can change it. That's when we can stop it before it goes too far and continue on our alignment to getting our goal. So now we've understood and we get, okay, maybe it's $10,000 times 10, right? All of these type of things I've spoken about here, and in a moment I'm going to speak about 3 things that you should be doing to make this goal a reality. All of these, let's say $100,000 to $10,000 sales. What if I told you that you selling a $10,000 product, there's not much different to you selling a $50,000 product. You selling a $1,000 product, there's not much difference to you selling a $10,000, $20,000 product. How do I know this? Because the first thing, and I want everyone to write this down, the first thing that I recommend everybody to do, right, this year is learn 2 things. First one is marketing, second one is sales. Now, before your mind kicks in again and says, I don't want to be on the computer all the time. I don't want to be some tech guy. I don't want to be a salesperson. I don't want to be some sleazy person. Okay, first of all, let's look at marketing. When I say marketing, I don't mean being on the computer. I just mean this one principle of understanding how to take someone from not knowing about you, your product, service, or message, and knowing about it, and then wanting to buy it or wanting to proceed with it. Right? Taking someone from not knowing you or not knowing about this product, this service, this message, to knowing about it and being interested in it. That's all. If you can master that psychology, you will never need to worry about money again. Whether it's making $100,000, whether it's making $1 million, you will never need to worry about money again if you can master that. And in a moment, I'm going to share with you 2 things that you can get started with to start mastering that at least. The second thing is sales. Why do I say sales? And sales is a form of marketing, but well, sales is kind of separate from marketing. I'm not going to go too detailed into the differences right now, but just appreciating marketing was getting someone who maybe doesn't know about something right now to know about it and interested in it. Sales is how do you get that interested person to convert, to be like, you know what, if that water really does that and can really do that to my DNA, can help me, can heal me, of course I'm going to buy that. If that product over there really works like that, I'll be stupid not to buy that. How can you get somebody to have that realization that they would be stupid not to invest in that? Now, the reason why I say these 2 things, if you master marketing, you master sales, you will never need to worry about money again, is because for me, I'm only sharing with you what's worked for me. All right, these videos that I make, I'm not going to be sharing with you something that, just sounds cool and I've heard about it and, let me just pull it out here because it sounds cool. No, these videos are real. What I've been doing these past few years to help me with abundance, to help me with money, to help me with living a different quality of life. How do I know that the marketing and sales will help you so much? Because I went from, in the space of, I think 3 to 4 months, I went from sleeping on my parents' couch, earning £100 a week, not knowing how I was going to figure out this money thing, to then learning and doing this in one conversation, selling something for $10,000. In one conversation, selling something for $15,000. In one conversation, selling something for $3,000. Now, when we look at what I just shared about reverse engineering our goal, if we look at $10,000, all $10,000 is 10,000 times 10, right? What does that mean? It means 10 sales at $10,000. So my question to you is, do you feel comfortable that you could maybe have 10 conversations in 1 year? If you could, then you could do exactly what I did. Because this opened my eye. Literally, I went in 3 to 4 months from sleeping on my parents' couch to then in one conversation selling something for $10,000, selling something for $15,000. And the conversations that I were having, the reason why I said a $10,000 product and a $100,000 product, there's not much difference in the way you sell it, is because when you learn marketing, when you learn sales, you understand that there's a template to all of this. Whether you're selling fitness, whether you're promoting something that's a relationship, whether you're promoting anything, there's a specific template that once you master this, all the difference between that $10,000 product and that $50,000 product is pretty much one sentence. And part of that involves the price. So all the difference is, okay, the investment is only $10,000 or the investment is only $50,000, right? That's the difference, right? Obviously before there's like a pre thing that you might change, but that's why in this video, I'm going to link down in the description 2 books that help me. I think one book is free. I think you just have to pay for shipping. And one book is like an audio book from someone that you should definitely look into, Alex Hormozi. He will help you tremendously as well. Those 2 things, I'm going to link them in the description so you can look at them. One is free. If you can't even invest, I think $8.99 for an audiobook or something that's free, then probably making the $100,000 isn't for you, right? But if this is for you and you are serious about this, then make sure to at least check it out, because the first book is going to help you with understanding marketing a bit more. The second book will understand you with understanding sales and offers a bit more. Okay, so that's that. Also with these 2 skills, marketing, sales, and being able to effectively communicate, I went from that person who was not homeless, that person who was sleeping on my parents' couch to, that would have been a different story, okay? Sleeping on my parents' couch to making, to generating $10,000 in one conversation, $15,000 in another conversation. To then, I think the following year, learning a new skill about how to effectively communicate sales, was able to generate, in my first year, over $500,000, right? Now, I'm not saying any of this to impress you. The reason why I'm saying, because actually I've decided to stop doing a lot of that stuff now, because this year, some of you will know that I've taken a more, these last few months, taken a more personal approach to figure out what I want to do next. You know what I mean? But for you guys, the reason why I've started to do these videos again is because I know that there's some people out there right now who could benefit from using these skills. So the reason why I share this is not to impress you, is to impress upon you what is possible. All I'm saying to learn in this next year, to discover, is marketing is sales. Once you learn those 2 things, then it will be simple. All you got to think, you know what, if I want to do the $10,000 route, where I'm selling a $10,000 product, then all I've got to do is 10 sales in a year. Now, if you might be thinking, but I don't have anything to sell for $10,000, the question that you shouldn't be asking is, I don't have anything like that, or how can I do that? The question you should be asking is maybe something like, who can I partner with that has a product for $10,000? Right? I was looking at, and this was something that I was looking at on Instagram the other day, and this will explain this pretty nicely, is a concept called being the middleman. You know, the other day I was scrolling on Instagram, and I saw someone, you might know him, Grant Cardone. He was talking about when he was first flipping properties, there was a guy who I think was broke. He had less than $50 in his account, and he wanted to make money. He spoke to Grant. He saw what Grant was doing. He said, "Can I help?" Grant in that moment had like tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars of property, flipping, renovating, etc. He was making money. He was making P. But this guy, because Grant realized that, you know what, I don't want to do all the managing stuff. I don't really know how to contact all the developers, how to do the painting. When the plumbing's not working, I don't know what that is. What did he do? That guy and him partnered up. He said to him, you know, if you take care of all the managing stuff, if you take care of all the renovation, making sure it's going great, I'll bring the deals in. You just manage all that stuff. You be the manager. We'll do a split. Right? He gave him equity in the properties, and that guy who was broke. For some of you guys, maybe you're making 20K a year, 30K a year, 40K a year, 50K a year right now. This guy was broke and went to making millions in this collaboration. So now all I'm inviting you to do is change the way you think, change the way you perceive. Don't think, I don't have something for $100,000. I don't know how to sell something for $10,000. I don't know how to sell something for $1,000. Instead of thinking that, change your mind to think, how could I learn these skills to sell something for $1,000? Who could I partner with to generate this type of money? And so once you've learned marketing, sales, this is the blueprint that I want to give to everybody. If you were to take a year, in 1 year you want to make $100,000 or an extra $100,000, how I'd break it up would be the first 3 months to purely learn marketing and sales. You learn these skills, like I said, you'll never need to worry about money again. You could be working, I'm going to give you an example now. You could be working in let's say a typical job, let's just say You could be a hairdresser. Okay, I know that a lot of you watching this aren't hairdressers, but if I can show you this for a hairdresser, imagine what it could do for you. Imagine you're a hairdresser, you're earning, I don't know, let's just say $30,000 a year. That's probably high for a hairdresser. I don't know what hairdressers earn, but let's say you're earning $30,000. If you was a hairdresser and in 3 months you learned how to market, how to sell, if you could say to your boss, who's only paying you $30,000 and not going to pay you anymore, if you could say to your boss that, you know what, I think I've figured out how we can get 10 extra clients in here per week. This is not anything mind-blowing. This is not saying 100 clients a week. This is 10 clients a week, which is just over one extra person per day. That's it. I found out a way to do this. If I can do this, and you know that every client is worth $200, right? So what does that mean? In 1 week, you could bring an extra 2K in. In 1 month, you could bring an extra 8K in, $8,000. What does that mean? In 1 month, that means in 10 months, right? So 1 week, 2K, 4 weeks, which is 1 month, 8K. In 10 months, you could bring in 80K. You heard me right. In 10 months, you could bring in 80K. How do you think that if you was to say, you know what, if I could bring these extra clients in this year, okay, let's just say in 12 months, 1 year, right? What's that? That's like 96K, around, just say call it 100K. Would you be open to doing a 50-50 split? I bring you 100K into the business, you do nothing. Are you open to a 50-50 split? You make 50K that year. You just made almost double what you was going to make anyway by learning this skill in a job where there's no ceiling, right? This is how crucial, this is how important these skills of marketing, of sales. They're high income and transferable skills. What does this mean? They produce high income, they produce high impact, and you can use them in any industry, any niche you're in. Whether it's IT, whether it's metaverse, whether it's cryptocurrency, whether it's hairdressing, wherever you are, you can use this. So the first 3 months in a year, if you were to dedicate, you know, in 1 year, I want to make an extra $100,000. The first 3 months, I would just say, don't even try and sell anything. Don't even try and make any money right now. Use these first 3 months to learn marketing, learn sales as much as possible. Once you've done that, the next 3 months, and the second thing I wanted to share about this was to speed up your marketing, your sales, is get a mentor. Get somebody who knows marketing, who knows sales. Don't just try and figure out yourself. Trust me, one thing, I spent about 3 years trying to figure out this stuff by myself. Then in 1 year, I know this because I was on that path for 3 years trying to figure it out by myself. In 1 year, I ended up getting as much progress as I know I would have achieved in like 10 to 15 to 20 years by myself. Because I found a mentor who wasn't just a mentor who said they knew business, said they knew marketing. It was someone who I saw with my own 2 eyes that had the results I wanted to have. They were a millionaire. I was like, if they know how to make millions, surely I can learn something from them. So the strategy number 2 is find a mentor who has the results that you want. Once you find them, learn from them. In those first 3 months, if you get a mentor to teach you marketing, sales, you're also using your own time to learn it. In 3 months, you could be like 5 years ahead of what you would have been by yourself. And I'm not even saying this to gas you up, to say, exaggerate. This is the truth based on what I've seen. So once in those 3 months, you figure out the marketing, the sales, you have a mentor to help you, show you the blind spots that you can't see. The next 3 months, all I would focus on, as well as, yes, learning more marketing, learning more sales. And I'm doing this like eating yourself, eating all the marketing, the sales you can. The next 3 months is all about building your network. These are the 3 things. Learn marketing and sales. Have a mentor and build your network. Why? This is the final thing I want to say in this video, is because if you build your network out, opportunities will come that you never even needed to figure out yourself. I'll give you an example. The other day, one of my friends in my network said to me, Josh, I'm getting flown out to Dubai. All expenses are being paid for, 40K. Like flights, expenses, everything. The guy paid like 40K for me to come out here to show me an opportunity. Then what happened? He flew out to Dubai. He gives me a call. He's like, Josh, this opportunity is mad. I've just, with the some things that the sheikhs in Dubai are doing, they're able to generate 5 to 10% every single week. Now, I know this sounds like crazy. This video is not about that. But imagine me. I was just sitting at home chilling. I get this phone call, I get this message. And my friend's like, you can generate 5 to 10%, which is crazy. If you put your money in the bank right now, you're generating like 0.1%, less than that, right? When I heard this, I was like, okay, this sounds like a scam, but let me know more info, right? Even if it was a scam, which it's not, because I've looked into it, I've done certain things to involve myself with this, and it works. But the point that I'm getting to, I was just sitting at home. How did this thing happen? Because I had a network. The other day as well, I think some months back, And one of my friends messaged me, like, Josh, tonight there's this thing where there's a 30% opportunity to, no, not 30% opportunity to 30 times your money. Well, actually, he said 50 to 100 times. We did it together. The next day, I made 30 times my money. I know all of this sounds too good to be true, but the reason why it sounds too good to be true is right now your network is probably calling you up about, hey, do you want to go cinema? Hey, do you want to go to the restaurant? Hey, have you seen that thing on Netflix? If you fill your network up with people like that, this is not to say get rid of people like that. If you've got friends, do it. But how can you find some people and add some people into your network who, when they call you, it's not about what's on Netflix. It's about, have you seen this opportunity where you can 50 to 100 times your money? Potentially, right? No opportunity is guaranteed. If anyone says anything's guaranteed in an investment opportunity, this is just a straight business fact. They're lying to you and it's probably a scam. Okay, nothing is 100% guaranteed. But if they can say that there's a high probability you'll make 50 to 100 times, 10 times or 3 times or even 2 times, right? Then your ears are there, you're listening, you're like, you know what? Let me just put about, like, I don't know, some a little bit of money and test it, see if it works. This is the power of learning marketing and sales, having a mentor to speed things up, and having a network that brings opportunities to you. So the final thing I want to say to wrap this up is, if you was going to put together in 1 year, I want to make $100,000, this is the strategy that I would follow through. First 3 months, learn marketing and sales, that's all. Don't worry about making sales. The next 3 months, you're still learning marketing and sales with your mentor, still learning. Now you're probably 5 to 10 years ahead by just buckling down for 6 months. But in those next 3 months, so this is month 3 to 6, well, technically month 4 to 6, now you're working, how can I build my network? How can I connect with people who have maybe the results that I want to have, or maybe have done things in business or have connections with people? How can I connect with people like that? Those 3 months you just dedicate to doing that. Now you're left with 6 months with a network that, even if you've just got 1 or 2 or 3 extra people in your network who have connections or who can change some things drastically, that's massive, right? So now in these next 6 months, you've got this network, you have these skills. Now you think, you know what, do I want to do the, I don't know, $1 product? Do I want to do the $100 product? Do I want to do a 10K product, a 50K product? Even a $1 product, right? One of my mentors taught me years ago, his friend was selling $1 ebooks that he just wrote and put them on Amazon. These $1 ebooks, he made millions from them. Why? Because this was information that people wanted to know. And chances are you have some information that you could teach people or share with people. The information in your mind, will somebody pay $1 for it? Probably, right? Then if you just get 1 million people to do that, that's $1 million. If you only get 100,000 people to do that, that's 100K, right? And you don't have to stick with just only the $1 product, only the $10 product. You can mix and match. But at least you've got an idea of, where do I want to look when I'm creating this roadmap, this workflow for the next year. So I trust that helped, guys. If you got any value from this video, make sure to hit the like button. That is the roadmap that I will go ahead with. Reverse engineer it, understand that you can do it, learn marketing and sales, get a mentor, have a network. And other than that, I will suggest watching this video here if you want to learn how you can 50 times the amount of money that you're making, and also unlock certain things that are going in your minds, to not have the objections, not have the disbelief or the doubt or the fear in your mind when you're making money. Or if you watched it already, you can watch this one that YouTube is recommending for you and enjoy it. So other than that, I hope you got a lot of value from this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.